Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of this energy balance series of videos. Here we're going to start taking a look at some of the finer details and starting with energy output. So what are the components of energy output? That's what we're going to take a deeper look at. First of all, just to recap, energy balance. This refers to energy intake, so calories consumed through food and drink, versus your energy output, which is your calories burned. Now there are two sides to this equation, and there are also numerous factors to consider on each side of this equation. We're going to look first of all, as I mentioned, at energy output, so calories burned. To fully understand energy out, we need to take a closer look at these individual components and how these contribute to the energy you burn on a daily basis. We call this your total daily energy expenditure, so TDEE for short. And this is actually one of the most misunderstood topics when it comes to achieving a body transformation. Not understanding the different components of your TDEE will very often lead to slow or stalling results, and that can be frustrating. If you're trying to change your body shape and you want results in a timely manner, we really need to try and do our best to understand this and the importance of each part, so each component. Now, what are the components? We're going to take a look at that now. So your TDEE comprises mostly of your BMR, as well as, on top of that, any extra activity that you do on top of simply sustaining your life and existing. So everything we do has a caloric cost in relation to burning off the energy we consume through our diet. And the chart here, the image below, this estimates the percentages of each component, and it helps to demonstrate the importance of both nutrition and exercise, whether it's planned or otherwise. So if we look at the bottom part, first of all, the BMR, as you can see, this takes us up to 70% out of your 100% of your energy expenditure each day. 70%, around 60 to 70% is made up of your BMR. We group this into your resting energy expenditure. Okay, so this does make up the majority of your daily energy expenditure, which may be surprising. So we call this your resting energy expenditure because this is basically the amount of calories that your body will burn just at complete rest. So this part of your TDE forms the basis of your survival as a human being. Even when you're at rest, your body's burning a certain amount of energy, and this is just to sustain life. If you can think of everything that your body does automatically without you consciously trying to do it, things like breathing, pumping blood around your body, cell regeneration, these are all parts of your basal metabolic rate. So this is the very base level of calories that we need to expend to keep us alive. Now at the top we have three parts which are grouped into non-resting energy expenditure. So first of all we have NEAT, we have TEF and EAT. So this basically includes everything that falls outside of being at total rest, as we just mentioned your BMR is, and anything on top of that we group that together because this is anything outside of rest, so non-resting energy expenditure. So BMR first of all, or resting energy expenditure, what is it and can we change it? As I just mentioned, BMR is making up your 60 to 70% of your TDEE, and that is a substantial amount dictated by factors which for the most part you aren't actually in control of, at least in the short term. Metabolism refers to the countless chemical processes going on continuously inside the body that allow life and your normal functioning as a human being. Even though a large part of your daily metabolism happens automatically, a healthy metabolism helps you to manage your weight and your body composition. So there may be a couple of things that we can do over time to adjust and improve your metabolism through your BMR, but these do take some time, and this is generally based on much longer term results. Your BMR is individual to you. This is usually affected by things such as your age, gender, level of body fat you have, the level of muscle mass you have, the amount of physical activity you partake in regularly, the type of activity that you do, your hormone function, any previous dieting such as extreme or crash dieting, for example. This can reduce your BMR over time. Genetics, drug use, dietary deficiencies, and even things as far as environmental temperatures, for example, extremely cold temperatures. Now, the key players for a healthy BMR, I think most people are aware of this, but it's important to have this as a valuable reminder. If we can aim to build and maintain as much lean muscle mass as possible with consistent strength training, and also complementing that with a nourishing diet, with sustainable methods that we can actually stick to, this results in a stronger body, and over time that continues to hold your metabolism in a stronger position. So let's have a look at the top 30%. This is probably the most important part to be aware of. As you can see here, we've got your non-resting energy expenditure, that top 30% in 3 parts. So at the bottom, so the largest part we're going to discuss first, this is NEAT, which stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis. As you can see here, this equates to roughly 15%, so that is half, which is a large proportion of the 30% which we can consider as having more control over. 15% of that is your NEAT. Now, NEAT covers all of your daily movement outside of your planned training sessions. So if you think of things day to day that you do, like chores around the house, fidgeting, maintaining your posture, so just even trying to sit up straight, walking around the shops, taking the stairs, caring for friends or family, all of these small things equate to energy expended, okay? Now, in isolation, those things are very small, but because we are quite often busy people and we do a lot of this stuff, this actually equates to a lot of energy expended on a daily basis. Now, the next part is TEF, thermic effect of feeding, or thermic effect of food, you may hear it called. Roughly this is 10%, so again, this is a fairly substantial chunk of that 30% that's in your control. So 1/3 is made up of your TEF. This relates to the amount of energy required to chew, eat, digest and assimilate the calories through food and drink which we consume each day. So if we think about the diet that we consume, approximately 10% of all of that energy that you consume is being burnt off every single day as we go through the normal processes of digestion. Okay, so as you eat, break down that food, it has to pass through your body. We have to put that energy to use where it's required in the body. And through that process, approximately 10% of that energy is lost, okay, as a whole. So over the calories that you consume, we lose around 10% of those, putting those calories to work. And the last part, the icing on the cake, the EAT. So this is exercise activity thermogenesis. Now, this is one of the big things which people have confusion over. As you can see, we've talked about NEAT, which is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. We're now looking at exercise activity thermogenesis. So this relates specifically to your planned training. So it may surprise you to realise that this is only 5% of that 100% of your daily energy expenditure. Now, if we remember this and we focus more of our efforts and attention where consistency is concerned to be more active on a daily basis, we can ramp up our NEAT, which is responsible for a little bit more of that energy expenditure. We still need to train hard, but we need to appreciate that that small amount of time you spend training in the gym, that isn't quite as effective and powerful as expending energy as the rest of your day. Okay, so EAT relates specifically to the planned training sessions that you perform. Most people will believe that their gym sessions burn the largest chunk of calories in the day and through their week. However, that is not strictly true. So it's actually the smallest component of your TDEE, so around 5%. And let's think about somebody who may not even be training that much at the moment. We may not even have 2 or 3% of our actual energy expended coming from planned training. So if we can ramp up our planned training as well as the amount of energy we expend through NEAT, so non-exercise activity thermogenesis, just from generally moving and trying to stay busy and using our body on a daily basis, this is how we're going to squeeze more out of that 30%. We're going to have a little bit more of a look at the thermic effect of feeding and why this is important further down the line. However, at the moment we're just talking about a little bit more about movement and general energy expenditure and an insight into energy balance. So, steps you can take to increase your NEAT. Can we exaggerate your NEAT by including a daily, weekly step count? Well, yes, of course we can. Technically speaking, if you plan a walk every day to increase your step count, this isn't exactly NEAT anymore. However, that doesn't really matter because it still helps you to achieve your goal. So we just want to reframe how we think about movement and think about generally staying active as much as possible. So we must fully appreciate the power of that general movement. To lose more body fat and even maintain a leaner physique, you will need to manipulate your energy balance to create an energy deficit, and we want to aim to do this every single day without fail. Walking is therefore the simplest, easiest form of exercise that anybody can do. Okay, every single day anybody can do this. Even if you have a lot of weight to lose, walking is actually the most accessible thing to you. Okay, so a lot of people want to lose weight, they start doing things like going for a run, when actually you don't need to do that. We just need to manage the amount of calories that we're consuming and just become more active with whatever we can do. For fat loss, having a daily step target of 10,000 steps will be a huge catalyst to improve your results. Primarily focus on building muscle and strength through your training at the gym or at your home gym, and then aiming to stay as active as possible to keep your general calorie expenditure high. For most people, you can expect to burn around 300 to 500 additional calories if you complete 10k steps every single day. Now, the variable there is going to be specific to you. For example, if you are more overweight, if you have more muscle mass, things like this, your age, gender, we can see some variables there which may impact how many calories that might translate to for you. But the important thing to remember is this is a really easy, accessible way for you to expend more energy and win when we're trying to manipulate your energy balance equation to achieve your weight loss goals specifically. Okay, that is the end of part 2. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in part 3.